Glorious day to you, my friends. Siatara, Nishikahayata, Arahaskana Aratato. Happy full moon. I'm here with Angie at Canandaigua Lake. We were just talking about this full moon, and we're talking about our connection to God. We're talking about our connection to self and how this full moon relates to that. What's really interesting is most astrologers talk about this full moon in Scorpio when aligned with the fixed stars. The fixed stars Antares and Aldebaran, that they put them as polar opposites, where the meaning of the stars don't cooperate together. And many of the astrologers are talking about this massive swing in polarity and contrast brought about by this full moon. So let's talk about the archangels associated with these stars, because archangels don't fight. Archangels are here to talk about God, our presence, grace, benevolence, light, however you want to call God, or we can even say the inherent power inside each and every one of us. So Antares is about this dynamic flow of who we really are. It's the power of our vortex, this circling vortex. It's the expansiveness of who we are. And Aldebaran and Archangel Michael, so the Watcher of the West is Archangel Uriel, or Uriel, the light of God. And Michael, he who is like God, is the Watcher of the East. And Aldebaran is more of the funnel, the bottom part of the vortex. They both cooperate with us. They are our vortex. And the other two royal stars, the Watcher of the South, Regulus in Leo, and Archangel Raphael, and Gabriel, the Watcher of the North, with Fomalhaut in, it's the big fish, Piscini australis or something like that, at the foot of Aquarius, drinking all the water so the world never floods again. Anyway, these royal stars cooperate together. They're just like the four petals in Muladhara, where it's talking about our identity, our connection to who we really are, our connection to God, no matter what we're experiencing, no matter the contrast that we're experiencing, and that we're always entitled to this benevolent flow, our vortex. The four royal stars and God and us are co-creating our reality with our vortex, with our, they're the four cheerleaders. They're always convincing us that we can do it. Gabriel is the messenger of God. He is talking to us that this idea of separation, no matter what we're experiencing, this distance of separation that we perceive is never that far away. We also had this discussion today, is that we have all had our times of desperation, where we feel we are so separate from Source, from God, from the benevolence of this world, of this life. And these archangels and Gabriel are trying to tell us that it is simply a realization away from that despair to knowing, and the wind is confirming here, this knowing that God is always with us, the grace of life, of living, is always with us. No matter what we're experiencing. I don't know your pain. I've only known my pain. And I can commiserate with you having pain, no matter who you are. I can commiserate with you having the joy when you're in your essence, when you're in who you really are. So, this full moon is about us remembering who we really are. Connecting with this vortex that is inherent to us. This dynamic flow that's all around, in the funnel that brings all of our desires to us. When we doubt, and Angie and I were just talking about when we're in our zone, the clarity of the knowing is always right there. And this knowing, the clarity of the channel of who we are, the clarity of the information that we're getting while we're channeling. When we're clear, it comes in and we know. Everyone's a channel. But we were taught to doubt the information that comes in. And I get it. Because when the messages first started coming in, I'm lucky to have Angie as a friend because we talk about it all the time. And when I'm experiencing a little doubt, she clarifies it. And when she's experiencing a little doubt, I clarify it. And then we start trusting more in the information that we get. We start trusting in this craziness, this beautifulness that we call life. It's interesting. Okay, so they just chimed in again. It's been 717, and we haven't talked about the goddess. That's a willow tree. And the halupu tree is suspected to be a willow tree, the tree of the goddess. I have several videos on that. Go check them out. And the tila tree, or the linden tree, which is a sacred tree of the Celts and of Germanic people. And Canandaigua Lake. Canandaigua, the place...
The chosen spot.
The chosen spot, yes, because they chose it. And right down there, that is the Great Hill, where the Haudenosaunee, the Seneca, because the Iroquois is a given name by the French. And Haudenosaunee that's the 7 tribes, the 5 council fires or something like that. But one particular band came from the mountain, from the Great Hill, Nundaweo. And I have several videos, and somebody just watched a water blessing that I did in Nundaweo, where I had to get down on my belly and reach my hands in. That was a good water blessing. Anyway, so this lake is special to us. It's special to me. I'm going off the deep end on talking. So maybe you say a few words now before let me pull on yet another string.
What a lot of people are feeling right now is a lot of clarity. I want to go back to that clarity because the clarity is what is really seeding and rooting in us. This clarity is showing us a different viewpoint on how to address and how to look at everything, even as much as a blade of grass. It's allowing you to look at it differently. What's really happening with a lot of people right now is the own transformation of the self into understanding how things are coming to us. We have so many people, so many spirits, angels, all 4 of those angels on top of the many more angels that are really out there right now with us, working with humanity, working with all creation, of all planets, this really is a time. It's a time for us to be awakened to actually the clarity that what we have.
And this clarity, it can start with any clarity. But clarity in knowing the goodness in life. The clarity of knowing the goodness that's inside of each and every one of us. The clarity of
Doubt being removed. That's
through life, through simple things, even looking at the amazing how grass grows.
yeah.
Every time we experience some contrast or frustration or doubt, there is still the opposite that's there. With there's doubt, there's hope. There's hope in truth. There's hope in knowing more about who we really are, knowing more about our true authentic self and what we're capable of
Yes.
when we get out of our own way, when we remove some of the doubt. Oh, did you see that?
Yeah.
The blur. The blur was the confirmation there. And then we went back to clarity. Sometimes we get blurred. But again, we know what we prefer by experiencing what we don't prefer. Just like hot and cold, and things get blurry, and things get clear. We get blurry, but we know that we can get clear. So one last thing they wanted to talk about was it's so easy in this TikTok culture to want it now. The Veruca Salt. I want it now. And then there's people that say that we have to do all this spiritual work. Yes, there's work to be done. And yes, we need to do it ourselves. Hence the rebranding to the Revolution with Will. When we realize that we're already perfect, this realization can come in an instant. This is what Ashtavakra was telling us in his Gita. We're free when we decide that we're free. We're bound when we decide that we're bound. And unfortunately, we're taught that we're bound from day one, that we're limited. And these are the things that our spiritual work is all about. Our yogic practice is about that. It's about breath and movement on the mat. It's about what our mat can teach us when we drop our guard. So all this spiritual work, the full moon is traditionally about releasing, because it's like a full set of lungs. But it can be as simple as just breathing out. That in and of itself is release of what no longer serves. And the best part about the breath is that what we breathe out, the grass and the trees, they breathe in. That's their food. That's this cycle of life. That's this vortex of awesomeness that we're the center of. That's the whole beauty of it. If we think there's a whole bunch of work, if we think there's a whole bunch of spiritual work to do, then there is. And thus is so. If we think it could be as simple as deciding that we're free, and then realizing that we're free, that we get to make a decision, no matter what's going on in the world, our hearts can be free. Our minds can be free. What we wish to create can be free. Yes, we chose this time and this place to incarnate with these challenges here. Or maybe these are not challenging times for you, which is totally okay. On this channel, it's all about you, being your awesome self, and freeing yourself.
Yeah.
Choosing you, your true authentic self, and being your true authentic self. Yeah, I'm teary-eyed now. Okay, does that mean you finally decided? I felt a lot of people deciding yes at this point. That you are worth it. No matter what you're going through, you are worth it. And you can say yes. It doesn't take a lot of courage to decide what you want. And to decide that you're awesome, that you deserve the awesomeness. Okay. So, Yaka artanarishka awahashid soha. Siata rahana akachichia rahatatoroto. So, happy full moon, my friends, and make it a great day. Ishkanata arahatakaya hacha.